CEOs, on this particular training, I want to teach you guys how to take your book and turn it into multiple streams of money. And with that, this is what we like to call our success funnel. So we want to teach you how to build a success funnel. And then on the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to really be able to take that success funnel and create a plan of action. So once you have figured out the items that you want to sell, now we're going to create a plan of action so that you can sell them. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, so your success funnel is how you identified your multiple streams of income for your business. And I believe that every author should at least have 3 streams of income. Okay, at least 3 streams of income is what you're going to have when you are building up your success funnel. Very exciting. All right. Now, also the reason why we created success funnels, because we must understand is that everybody that we are connected to, whether they are, someone we've just recently connected to or somebody we've already been connected to, everybody is not in that same know, like, and trust space. And so the reason why you have a success funnel with different price points, which I'll explain more about that in a minute, is because everybody needs to meet you where they are. And then also you need to know that most people take at least 5 to 7 exposures before they even buy, and some even more nowadays because, with social media. Now, the key is we're not saying that you can't have success if you're selling what somebody else is selling. It's just you got to make sure that you stay in front of them all the time. All right. Now, tips to follow and meet new people, because that's also very important, guys. Once we have figured out what our successful funnel is going to be, we've got to make sure now that we're getting in front of people. So you want to find like-minded social media groups. There are groups online that you can find where you can be able to be a contributor to, whether you're providing value and information and answering questions, or you might just be putting up posts, asking different random questions and things like that, just being engaged without always being salesy. Networking groups. You need to go to Eventbrite, meetup.com, Google, find different networking organizations, chambers, things of that nature that you can join in your local market so that you can get in front of new people. Also, conferences and workshops. You most definitely want to be going to conferences and workshops because 9 times out of 10, there is an investment required. And wherever people are willing to invest to learn, they're going to be willing to invest into your products, your services, and most definitely your books. Okay. And then, of course, volunteering groups. A lot of people don't think about joining volunteering groups for being able to help better their business. But the truth is that you are who you hang with, right? And if you want to be around some people who also understand the power of giving back, this is definitely the best place to be. So find a volunteer group. Now, don't just find the volunteer group only to be able to sell. You want to do that for yourself, but you'll be amazed how many influential people, how many wealthy people, how many successful people that you can come across. And so you might not even just be a part of a volunteer group just to only sell stuff, but you could walk away being impacted in so many ways you could have never imagined. So find you a volunteer group that you can join and be able to give information to, or, to serve at. All right. So now I did a survey with 100 entrepreneurs a few years ago, and I asked several different questions. And basically I was asking questions to find out, first of all, how many of them attended networking events, but most importantly, followed up. See, the biggest challenge that most people have is that they think if I post on social media, then people should buy my product. The truth of the matter is that people need to see your stuff over and over again. And the art in how you follow up, utilizing social media, utilizing technology, the phone, events, is going to be very important to how you have success. So I asked 100 entrepreneurs, how many of them attended networking events? 37% of them said 0 to 1 times per month. We had 45% that said 1 to 5 times per month, right? Okay. And then you had a very small number who actually went to multiple times per week. And, guys, of course, the number went down. But the truth of the matter is the more events that you are attending, the more people are consistently seeing you, the more that they are being exposed to your product or your service. Also, I follow up. Look at this. Between 0 and 1 times, majority of most people, 59% of them only followed up 1, or some followed up at none at all, okay? One time or none at all. And this is a direct reflection why you see so many businesses that get started that don't have the level of success that they desire because they are not following up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Also, I follow up within a certain amount of time. And so those who do follow up, they say they follow up within 1 week. The truth of the matter is that 39.8%, when you go to an event, you have 24 hours to follow up with that person if you want to stay within that front of mind, or you know what I'm saying? If you want those people to remember you, because remember, people have a whole lot going on in their lives. And so if you want them to stay connected to you, it is so important that you figure out a way that you can follow up, whether it's sending them an email, whether it's, connecting with them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and allowing them to see your timeline, things of that nature. Okay. And so then I also asked how many of you guys could be better at networking, 24%, following up, 26%. Honestly, that was the number one. Everybody should have had more following up, but of course, everybody said, majority of them said I should be better at networking, following up, one-on-ones, etc., etc. Well, the great thing when you are a part of BPC, I'm going to teach you a couple of techniques on following up. And also, look, I'm not a big believer on doing one-on-ones unless that one-on-one came with an invoice. And so I'm just going to teach you some things, guys, as you're continuing to grow in your space as an entrepreneur and taking your business to the next level. Now, when I do one-on-ones, I do expect to make a sale. Only 7% said to build a relationship. 74% said to schedule a meeting. 10%, and I don't expect anything. 3, and then some people said other. I don't know what the other is, but the 74%, that is very good. At least people do understand the purpose behind networking. You don't go to networking events to make a sale, right? You go to networking events to build the relationships. The relationships are what either allow you to make a sale to that person or to become someone that they refer business to. This is also very important. You could also have someone referring business to you because of the relationship that you have built. When it comes to my business, I'm happy with my success. Things are getting better, and then it could be better. Majority of most people said it could be better. And that actually makes sense when you look at these numbers, because a large majority of businesses are starting. Authors are launching their books. Speakers are getting out there in the space. Coaches are getting their businesses up, and they're not having the success. But when you look at the statistics of how many of them are following up, we already know that the main thing we need to do is follow up, follow up, follow up. All right. Now, let's get into 3 phases of building a network of customers. Okay. So now what you must understand is that in every business, you have 3 phases. You have a cold market. This is where somebody knows you not at all. They've never met you, never heard of you. They know nothing of you or your product, your service, or your book, right? This is a cold market. Then you have a warm market. This is someone who has kind of heard about you. Maybe they just followed you. They possibly purchased a book. A warm market person will be open to purchasing a book, okay? They maybe saw you at a workshop, things of that nature. And then your hot market is basically someone who's been following you. They've been plugged into your book. They've been on your webinar, your workshop. This is somebody who is interested in what you have. It's just a matter of time before they make the investment. And your ultimate goal, of course, is to get people from your cold to your hot. Okay. And the more people that you actually meet, the faster you'll be able to increase the number of people who come from your cold to your hot. Now, the key thing though is also understanding how many times do you touch these people. Do you invite them to workshops? Are they on your webinars? Are you doing conference calls? Did they buy your book? Are you giving them ebooks? How are you touching them? And the way that you touch them is what I like to call your hook item. How are you hooking them? Because every single person that you're connecting to, you must hook them so that they join your funnel. Your success funnel is going to allow you to build multiple streams of income and also meet your customer where they are. If somebody is in the cold market, 9 times out of 10, they'll be more open and receptive to purchasing your intro item. If they're in your warm market, they'll be either do your intro or your or your core item. And then your hot market, these are people who are ready for that premium baby. They want that premium item that you have. But again, it means that you must be touching them. Now, I want you to also understand, just because somebody has entered into your funnel does not necessarily mean that they must purchase your intro and your core before they get to your premium. It's just a matter of meeting people where they are. All right. Now, I want to explain to you what some hook items are out there that you can give away. Hook items, again, are how you actually hook that person from cold to connecting them to your network, adding them to your database, okay? You need to be building a database of potential buyers, okay? And so you're going to have an ebook, or you can have a webinar. You can do a conference call. Believe it or not, people still don't mind doing conference calls. You're going to have a free workshop. I love free workshops, right? I love doing workshops. You're going to have a free book, okay? You can give away your book. Some things that I do, especially with one of my books, is I actually give it away, and then the client or the customer only has to pay shipping and handling. I just make sure that the shipping and handling covers the print cost of the book and the shipping of it, so that I'm not losing any money. Also, you could give away a discovery session. That's a 15-minute session where you're not coaching, but you're actually getting that person to explain to you essentially why they need to do business with you. Okay. And I love doing all of these different styles of hook items. Okay. So let's talk about your success funnel and how that generally works. Remember, you're going to have 3 items that you're selling, and your hook item is what you give away for free. Your hook item is how you hook them into your business. Then your intro item will always generally be, because we are authors here, is going to be your book. Okay. And remember, your book, you can sell your book everywhere. Okay. You can bring it with you everywhere you go, never leave home without your books. But this is a great way to get someone who is cold market to be connected to you. Okay. When you're out and about at events, sometimes it may not always be conducive to invite them to a webinar and things like that. You can still invite them, but you want them to walk away with something tangible in their hand. And that's why I always recommend selling those books. Then your core item is going to be your middle item. Now, I want you to understand your core item, just depending upon what kind of business you're in or how long you've been in business, the pricing can always range. But what I'm saying is, this is your middle priced item. I know some people whose core items are actually priced at thousands of dollars. Okay. These are high ticket coaches where they coach, their coaching program or their high ticket program is like 25,000, but their core item, which is like a VIP day, is 5,000. Okay. And so it just depends on where you are in your business, but we're going to start off at least $97. And some examples of core items could be a one-on-one session, three series non-interactive video where you pre-record video, live group calls, VIP days. And then as you see down below, I will give you some examples for those of you who are maybe in a different space outside of coaching. Maybe you sell a specific product or you sell a specific service and you want to figure out different core items that you can create. And then you have your premium item, which is your high ticket item, okay? Your high ticket item, service, or program. Now, keep in mind, again, guys, no matter what product or service it is you have, you can always create the success funnel. And I always recommend starting off with 3 items so that you don't overwhelm yourself with having to promote a whole lot. Trust me, I know when you're trying to launch and sell multiple items, it can become confusing and then people will end up buying nothing. And so when you create it kind of like a stacked type of situation where, okay, if you got this kind of money, this is what you can get. If you got that money, this is what you get. And if you got that, this is what you can get. And it just basically increases versus having several different core items that you're promoting. And that's where people kind of mess up. You want to find one specific core item. And then the thing is this, when somebody becomes a customer and you have other products and they love the core item product that you promote, they're going to want to buy other stuff. But the key is to get them in the door. Okay. So here are 3 examples that I wanted to give to you. First, a hairstylist teaching on hair growth. So let's say that you're in a service business. You've been doing it for a minute. Generally, this is what happens when I meet people who do services that they've been doing for a while. They want to go into coaching and educating, which is an easy transition. I want you guys to believe believe it or not. Let's just say your hook item is going to be an ebook on 7 secrets to grow your hair. You know, everybody is now getting into more natural styles and things like that. And you can create an ebook that gives them 7 tips. In your ebook, one of the tips or 2 of the tips are possibly going to be things that you actually sell and or do. Okay. Then your intro item is going to be your actual book. Now, your actual book might be something about, because of course, in this particular space, your target audience is helping other people that want to grow their hair. And so you might write a book about confidence, right? Maybe people want to grow their hair to feel more confident. You might write a book about, balance or things of that nature, being healthier, because we know the telltale signs of long, healthy hair is having a healthy body. And so your book may not just be about hair. It may be about that result that having beautiful long hair does for someone. So one thing you could do is that when somebody purchases your book, you can also give them a free sample of the hair oil that you actually sell. And then your core item could be like a hair growth combo kit. You could have an oil, you could have some shampoo that you make, and that could be something that you might sell for like $97. And then your premium item, it could be 2 hairstyles. I actually know someone who, she does my locks, right? And she does an incredible job with my locks. However, she's not, I won't say she's expensive, but she also is not very low ticketed. Her locks last a long time, but also she does no tension locks. Your hair will grow. And so she has people who literally fly in to come see her from all over the United States, right? All over the United States. And so to say that I offer 2 hairstyles plus the hair growth combo kit at a discount for my premium package, let's just say, I say, look, you can get 2 hairstyles. Maybe normally she would charge $497 for the hairstyles, or $597 for the hairstyles, or $6, whatever, you know what I mean? And you do 2 hairstyles for $997, and it comes with a hair grow combo kit. Now that person is getting a discount, and they're already set up for 2 hairstyles for that year that they must take advantage of within 12 months. Okay. Now, if you're a coach of any kind, this is always pretty easy because it generally is the same, no matter what. If you're a coach of any kind, where you don't necessarily sell any tangible products, you sell digital products, okay? Like, coaching, all right? If you're a coach of any kind, your ebook, your hook item could be ebooks on tips. You can have webinars. All those hook items that I showed you, I actually do, okay? But to start off on one, the first one that I started off on one was an ebook. My ebook I started off with an ebook on 7 reasons why you should write a book. And then because I was coming across authors, I'll also create another book on 5 ways to market your book. Okay. Because I also do help people who've already written their books. 80% of most authors make below minimum wage. So just because somebody has written a book does not mean that they don't need help. Right. And then you have your intro item, which would be your book for $20. And then what you can do is every time somebody buys your book, you can offer them a free discovery session, a 15-minute session, right? Now, if somebody buys my book, guess what? I'm also going to invite them to a workshop. I'm also going to invite them to a webinar. I want to make sure that they get touched multiple times so that by the time they get into that intro item phase, they are going from really cold and warming up pretty fast. Now, my core item is going to be a one-on-one strategy session. Okay. Now, when I first started doing one-on-one sessions, I started off at $97. Now, to get me on the line for an hour, it is $197. Okay. 197. And going into a new phase of my business, we're going to kind of wean away from doing those one-on-one sessions unless you are a part of a Book Profits Club, of course, because all Book Profits Club means you're plugging into the information. It's easier for me to give you a 1-hour session when you're actually plugged in, but it's hard when somebody is coming from the outside world that's not plugged into my training wanting a session. So the only people that I'll really offer those to will be now all of my Book Profits Club members, and it'll be at a discounted rate, but it's still my core item. Okay. Because if you think about it, when you invest into Book Profits Club, that also can be considered an intro item. And then, as you know, with our Book Profits Club, we do have our Book Profits Pack where you guys are able to get that quarterly shipment of planners and books and things like that. And then, of course, your premium item would be a high ticket course if you are a coach. Weight loss teas. So So I know everybody is into, these teas out here, darling. So I wanted to give you an example of like a physical, tangible product. And you can do this with any kind of product. Doesn't matter what the product is. So let's just say the hook item, again, we're going to use an ebook. 7 Secrets to Lose 10 Pounds in 7 Days with No Exercising. And then maybe even with that, if this person qualifies, you can give them a free sample of your tea. When I used to be in network marketing, one of our products that we pushed was coffee. And so what we would do is we would give away free samples of our coffee to people that were qualified. I didn't just give it to anybody. If somebody was drinking coffee or whatever at, from 7-Eleven, 9 times out of 10, I probably did not give them a sample. But if they were a Starbucks advocate, honey, I already know that they're spending $5 to $7 for a cup of coffee if they're getting a specialty coffee. And so they were ideal candidates to give them a sample of my coffee, right? Now, your intro item, of course, will always be your book. Now, this is one thing I want you to understand. I was in a network marketing company and we were selling coffee, but my book was called A Vision to Freedom because ultimately, I wanted them to actually get into the business. And so even though it didn't necessarily tie to the coffee, it still was a book that people would want to read. Okay. So now let's just say that you sell weight loss tea, but your book is about being healthier. Your book is about having better balance. Going back even to the hair. I mean, generally most people always want, a couple of things. They want more money, they want to be healthier, and they want love. And so you create a book about that and you incorporate, having a healthy lifestyle. Now it actually refers that person back to your products and services. Then your core item can be like a 30-day supply of the tea. And then your premium could be the ultimate makeover kit. It might be tea that lasts for like maybe 3 months. Then you have some pills or something like that. Maybe you have some additional like a workout, or you could do where some people include like a restaurants, list of restaurants that you could go to, or your recipes that you can include. And this is in your ultimate makeover, your ultra makeover kit. And this could be something where you might sell for, $997. And maybe it comes with a 1-hour coaching session as well, based on, if they've been plugging into the information. So these are some examples of success funnels. And guys, it doesn't matter. Again, whatever your business is, you can have a success funnel. All right. Now, what offer to make? And so I always like to explain how to work this out. But I am going to do another video for those of you in BPC. So you guys are so awesome. On the next video, I'm going to teach you guys really like the game plan of this. But generally, if I'm giving away like a ebook, or something like that, like one of my hook items, in 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to make the offer for them to buy my intro item, core item, or premium item, especially with an ebook. I'm probably going to invite them to my webinar because remember, I really want them to be touched multiple times. Now, in the webinar, I can allude to my book and allow them to purchase the book, but I generally don't even always do that as well, unless they have been touched a couple times. Now, if I'm doing a shorter version webinar, and generally these are situations where I've been invited to be a part of somebody's, series, webinar, be a host on a show, something of that nature. Maybe I've also been invited to speak at somebody's workshop. Okay. In this situation, a 30-minute webinar or a 30-minute workshop, I generally will make the offer of my intro item, or I will offer another hook item. So let's just say I'm doing a 30-minute webinar. I'm not going to say, hey, y'all can join me for my official webinar, because they're going to feel like, oh, I already got the webinar. I don't need to get on again. Right. It may be something else. I say, hey, you can come to my free workshop masterclass. If I called it like the intro to book writing, then I might make it the book writing masterclass, right? Something like that. I might invite them to get something else, or of course, offering them a copy of my book that they can get. Now, once they open up their pocketbooks, of course, it's always easier to get them to convert more. So, of course, ultimately, I am looking to get people to that next level, but I want to make sense. If I'm on somebody's event and I only get 30 minutes to speak, it's very difficult to offer something that's going to be in your core item or your premium item space. Now, if you're doing like a 1-hour webinar, and this is generally where you're doing your own webinars, you guys may have seen some of my webinars, which is why you are part of Book Profits Club, or you're doing a series of conference calls or longer conference calls, or somebody that has actually purchased your book. Okay. then generally what I'll offer is a discovery session or a strategy session. And that's in the coaching space, but that would be like my core item. So for example, if you do like webinars for your products, let's say you are in the product space of, I don't know, you might sell planners or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you an example. Like you help teach people. Well, that's coaching. So let me try to get something more tangible. Because a lot of stuff tends to be like merch. So let's say that you sell pots and pans, right? You have a great pots and pans. Well, let's just say you're doing an information session webinar where you're cooking in those pots and pans. And then what you can do for that is when somebody is watching you do your cooking, then your core item, you could sell that core item, which, you know, in a coaching space is like a strategy session, but your core item might be that particular pan that you're cooking in for that day. So let's just say, hey, today we're going to make some fried chicken and I'm going to show you how to use this pan and it's going to be cooked in under this time. In fact, everybody, today, this particular pan is on sale. And so now they have purchased that one pan, they're going to get hooked, and eventually they're going to want to get their, you know, that ultimate kit of pans, right? Now, when you do your own workshop or you're doing a discovery session, okay? So let's just say you booked a discovery session with someone or you did your own workshop. This is a physical workshop, not an online workshop, not a webinar, virtual. I'm talking about a physical workshop where people are coming to your event face to face. In those situations, always, my only offer is generally my premium item. Now, with my premium item, I may throw in the core and the intro for free, quote unquote, right? But whenever I'm doing a workshop, my own workshop, I'm only making one offer. And by the way, whenever you do any kind of presentation, the more offers that you make, the more confusing it becomes. Only make one offer. And then from that offer, you can make another offer. Okay. Does that make sense? So you make an offer to make another offer. Okay. Now, the next video, guys, I'm going to show you how to create your game plan for 2020 doing workshops or parties. And so a party would be specifically for someone that maybe sells a particular product, and your workshop is for those of you who want to go in the coaching space. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to be able to do that in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this training, and I will see you later. Bye for now. Hey CEOs and entrepreneurs, this is Taria Vision-Rott, and I hope you guys like this training video that I did. This is actually a part of our training that we provide to all members who are part of Book Profits Club. This particular club is specifically for authors who are serious about taking their businesses to the next level. 80% of most authors make below minimum wage. There's a lot of authors out here that have all these books and they ain't making no money, guys. And that also includes top sellers, whether they are Amazon or whatever, okay? And so I want you to understand that these trainings that we provide are designed not just so that you create a great book, but that you are able to grow your business. If you want, you can actually join me for a free webinar where I'll be teaching you in our book writing masterclass, where I'm going to show you, first of all, what makes a great book sell, or what makes a great book, first of all, and then what makes it sell. And then I'm also going to teach you how to get started. Oh, and I have a bonus training in this masterclass on how to make $1,000 this particular week in 7 days. Okay. So if you want to join this training, darling, go ahead and go to bookprofitsclub.com. Join me there. And I hope that you end up becoming a part of the entire program, joining the BPC, because we got a lot that's coming up, darling, and you do not want to miss it. All right. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Thank you so much. Deuces.